Hello, I'm Myles Walton, class of 1997, and president of the WPI Alumni Association. It's my pleasure to be here with President Leshin. As many of you know, and as all of you should know, she took over as president of the university on June 1st, 2014. And so thank you for being with us today, Lori. It's a great opportunity to exchange some ideas with her about the future of the university, but also to just get a little bit to know her better. So maybe to start off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how and what attracted you to WPI?
Sure, Myles, it's great to be with you. Hi to all of our alums out there. It's great to be with everybody. 3.5 months in so far, it's going great. I'm thrilled to be here. So I guess what I would say about myself is I think a lot of people know that I spent some time at NASA, spent 6 years as a senior exec there, but they may not know that I actually really am a university brat. I grew up on university campuses, went to classes with my mom starting from the age of 9, and then she got a job at our local university, and then I started working there when I was 16, answering phones in the registrar's office. Went straight through, college, grad school, faculty job, the whole thing. I've been really an academic my whole life. So my 6 years at NASA were a great experience in the government, and thrilled now to be back in academia, previously at RPI and now here at WPI. I will tell you, I wasn't looking for a job when they came to recruit me for this presidency. But I fell in love with the educational model here. I think that WPI teaches STEM the way it should be taught. Hands-on, project-based learning is the key to using STEM to have an impact in the world. I love that. I'm all about having an impact in the world, and I really feel like we can do that here at WPI. About me, I think we're a good match. I love learning. I am a very collaborative person, and I'm a techno geek, I admit it. And so I think all those things make me a really good match for WPI, and I'm pinching myself every day that I'm here in this fabulous community.
And I know the alumni were as excited as you were to get here as they were to see you here. And the incoming emails when you first were announced were praised universally. Yeah. And one of the things that I think they're interested in is strategically, where do you think WPI can reposition or better focus its efforts to position it for the future?
So I think that we are in a great position for the future. That's the other reason why I came here, is I saw a ton of potential for even greater impact here at WPI. So obviously I'm a new president. One of the things you do as a new president is you do some planning at the beginning, and so we're just starting that process. Right now I'm in what I would call sort of the listening phase of that, where I'm really trying to get a lot of input from faculty, from students, from parents, from alumni, trustees, from our partners, from our community, about what's been great about what we've done in the past and where are opportunities for the future. So really the inauguration in November is going to be kind of when we pivot from the listening to the planning phase. And by the way, everybody should have, all the alums should have invitations coming in the mail for that pretty soon here, November 8th. We'd love to have everybody back on campus for that. It should be a fun celebration. But we're starting to formulate sort of what will be the pillars of our plan going forward. Things like how do we take our distinctive undergraduate education to the next level? How do we expand our global presence, our presence and impact in the world? How do we take our research and PhD programs to the next level? Really our intellectual endeavors here at WPI in some specific thematic areas, not everywhere, but picking some areas where we think we can really be distinctive and have an impact. How can we have a greater impact in our community through innovation and entrepreneurship and for our students and alums? How can we build an online strategy that really works for us at WPI? All of these things are things that we're thinking about. We'll be forming some planning teams going forward. We'll present some specific opportunities for alums to have input to that process, and we'll communicate a lot during the process. But basically starting from November till about end of February, we'll be in this planning mode, then we'll do some integration of those plans, and we'll come out next fall with our strategic plan for the future. So there'll be a lot of chances to engage in that time, and I really look forward to hearing what the alums have to say.
Great. Well, in the spirit of that engagement, we did collect some questions from the alumni base who are interested in certain aspects of your tenure going forward. And if you are willing, we'll go ahead and kick off the questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. The WPI Plan is really one of the more, I'd say, touchstone pieces of their education here as alums, and a lot of the questions focused on that area. Our first question is on that theme, comes from Len Brzezowski, the class of 1974, and he asks, the WPI Plan was revolutionary in 1974. What are your thoughts about how we might continue this innovative approach to teaching today rethinking what and how we teach to make us better?
Well, it's a great question. Certainly the WPI plan was one of the things that drew me to WPI. It is such an innovative approach to undergraduate education, project-based, hands-on, really embodying theory and practice that WPI is all about. So I'm coming here to build upon that great foundation for the future. So I think there are many things that we can do to enhance and take the WPI plan's impact to the next level. So one of the most impactful parts of the WPI plan and the project-based learning is the IQP, the junior year project, and 60 to 70% of our students do that project at an off-campus location or do one of their projects at an off-campus location. We know based on data that we've taken from our great alums over the last 4 decades since the WPI plan has been in place, we know the impact that doing a project off-campus has for our students. And so one of the things I would like to pursue is actually making that an option for all of our students. Anyone who wants to should be able to do a project off-campus. Right now the main barrier to that is financial. I think that's a financial barrier that we should work to remove. So another aspect to taking the WPI plan to the next level is sort of a personification of that here on the campus. And that's really what the alumni gym renovation is all about, turning that into the Foisey Innovation Studio, of course, after the wonderful gift of scholarships from Bob Foisey that we had last year. One of the things we're doing to honor that gift, which was for scholarships, is to name the Alumni Gym after him. Alumni Gym is really going to be an embodiment of the WPI plan on the campus. It will have project space. It will be an incubator for new companies that come out of our Innovation and Entrepreneurship Initiative. It will have a great new robotics lab where the hundreds of robotics majors are coming together to work on their projects. It's going to have a wonderful atrium inside where you can come and learn about where WPI is in the world and the kind of impact that we're having. So if there's going to be a place on the campus that's an embodiment of the WPI plan, it's really going to be Alumni Gym. And you'll be hearing more about that in the coming year as we're really working to get to the point of being able to break ground on that. I'm really, really excited about that project.
So many of our alums are also interested in the cost of higher education, and in particular the inflation of the cost of higher education. So this question, and there were several of them, comes from Daniel Nelson, class of 1975. The cost of higher education has grown at a rate of multiples of inflation. What's your plan to reduce the cost of education at WPI?
It's a great question, and it's certainly something that's on everybody's mind these days, including mine. Access to higher education, the cost of higher education, and the value of the degree that you get from WPI. So I think all those things are really, really important. In terms of costs, I'll just say a couple of things. One is that, yes, the cost of a WPI education has been going up along with other universities. We have not been going up as fast as other universities, so I am proud of that. But it is something that we always have to look at and try and control. And frankly, I think there are some things that we can do to try to rein in costs, and that will definitely be something that's on my agenda here as I start my time at WPI. But more importantly, WPI is never going to be an inexpensive university. That's not the kind of promise that we have to the students who come here under the WPI plan. And so what we need to ensure is that the value of a WPI education is as high as we can possibly make it. And so I'm thinking about things like, how can we have our students finish in 4 years with a master's? So do more in your 4 years here, or graduate sooner, or have summer offerings at discounted rates that allow our students to make sure that they stay on track to finish as quickly as possible. So ways that we can actually increase the value of their time here. We can actually bring in more students. If students are finishing faster, that actually allows us to offer the WPI education to more students. I think there's a lot we can do there. I also want to say that over 90% of WPI students get some kind of aid. So we're doing everything we can to offset the cost of a WPI education to families around the country and around the world. And I think everybody would say that their WPI degree has paid them dividends long term. So I think it's a degree of high value, and we'll work to maintain that.
Our next question comes to us regarding online education and how it could be either a threat or an opportunity for WPI moving forward. Specifically, it's from Bruce Armstrong, class of 1997. How important do you believe attending college at a separate physical location is versus innovative online experiences? And where will it be 10 to 20 years from now? I think many colleges are hitting a point where physically they're running out of space, and the internet generation is much more comfortable with the online presence than past generations.
Absolutely. I think there is a huge opportunity for online, for technology-enabled learning of all kinds. I think there's opportunities for personalizing education, having our students learn at their own pace more so than we're able to do with a more structured classroom environment. That's going to work really well in some subject areas, and it's going to work less well in other subject areas. So I think our opportunity is to really try and optimize all of the ways that we can learn and engage, teach and engage our students. Some of it being online, some of it being in person, some of it being remote project-based work, and really optimize that system together. We're already doing a lot in the online space, by the way. This summer we had 15 courses that were offered both in person and online. We have online master's programs all over the place, so there's a lot of opportunity for expanding online, but we're already doing a lot. And I think one of the keys here for the alumni is to think about using online to engage them. I would love to see WPI really become that lifelong education partner for our alums, and online is the way that we're going to do that.
As you can imagine, there are a lot of alums from the greater Worcester area, and they're interested in how WPI will interact with the community in the future. Sure. And this question in particular comes from Brent Gilmore, class of 2007, and it is, what will you do to make WPI more active and engaged in Worcester? It's known as a great place for many universities, yet its public schools lag behind many in the state. Mm-hmm. What can organizations like WPI do to make Worcester known as not just a great place for collegiate education, but a great place for education as a whole?
Yeah, we love our home here in Worcester. I've been so welcomed by this community. It's been really, truly amazing. I'm thrilled to be living here in Worcester. We actually do a lot with the city already. So we have, just in the last year, our students have done over 35,000 hours of community service and raised almost $200,000 for local community organizations. So we're actually really, really engaged in our city, but we're working to even take that to the next level. And I will just tell you that my very first day at WPI, actually the night before my first day in the office, my first 2 meetings as president of WPI, my dinner the Sunday night was with the mayor of Worcester and the head of the Chamber of Commerce, and my coffee first thing the next morning on my first day as president of WPI was with the city manager of Worcester. So I wanted to show from my very first day that we're really committed to this partnership. There's so much we can do, and there's more we can do. I think there are initiatives around innovation and entrepreneurship and helping our students and young alums start companies that could keep them here in Worcester and help drive our economy to the next level are things that we're very excited about engaging in further. I also agree with the question around helping our K-12 institutions here in Worcester. Our STEM Education Center is highly involved with our local schools, and we want to see where we can do more, because I think that might be the single most important thing we could do to help our city, is to help our K-12 education programs.
Lastly, a lot of alums are interested in how WPI can help solve a lot of the big challenges in the world. And this final question comes from Helen Wermerskirch, class of 1974. I would like to see WPI looking for engineering solutions to the country's big social problems, like fresh water, soaring healthcare costs. What can you tell us about what WPI is doing in that area?
So I completely agree that we've got the capability and the talent and the ideas here to help contribute to global challenges, really, whether they be in health and disease, or dealing with the deluge of data that's coming at us all the time, or any one of a climate, you can name a lot of these different areas. I think bringing engineering solutions to a lot of these problems is really the key. And so the idea of systems engineering, many solutions to whether it's healthcare or climate or whatever you can think of, bringing those kind of skills to solving world problems is really important. So we're working on things through our Systems Engineering Leadership Institute. We've just actually approved a PhD in systems engineering here at WPI. So that's one way to do it. Our students are also off working on these problems in communities all over the world, in Africa, in Europe, in Australia. They are helping people in real communities deal with issues on the range of, across a whole range of engineering challenges. So I feel really good about how we're positioned, but I think we can do even more. And as we're growing our research programs, as we're having more students embark on those off-campus projects, we're going to be continuing to do that with a focus on global challenges. And one last thing I want to say about that. as we think about taking the WPI plan to the next level, one of the ideas that we're working on is a way to connect those different projects better. So our students come as freshmen and join the Great Problem Seminar, where they might be in Feed the World or Heal the World or Power the World, again, those global challenges. What if their projects as freshmen connected with their IQPs, connected with their MQPs, and they had a thread throughout their time here that was really around one of these global challenges? That's something we're looking at as we're doing our future planning as well.
So thank you, President Leshin, for your time. On behalf of the 35,000 strong WPI alums, we're here to work with you to move the university forward.
Thank you, Myles, and thanks to all of you for tuning in and for all your great input and questions. I look forward to meeting many of you at alumni events around the country and around the world, and back here on campus at Homecoming and Reunion. Hope to see you then. Go Engineers!